Hello, fellow chefs. Before I start a presentation of a culinary foundations module, I want to talk to you about a little key points. Some key points so we present in a good manner is we want to be real, right? We want to show confidence, and we don't want to show the wrong way to do something. That's really important. We always want to show the right way. Even though we know there's ways to do it wrong and they're still somewhat right, we want to show the right way to do it at all times. And we want to have that perception. We want to be confident in what we do. We want you to practice at it as well. So some of your dates are coming up. Ahuja, your first in March. We want to practice before we do this. And we're going to talk a little bit more further down the road about what the actual materials are going to be. And in this meeting today, we're going to talk a little bit further about that. So knowing your material, be clear, and be concise is really big. So what I want to do now is do an actual 15-minute demo for you. And I'm not going to hold these notes, but it is okay for you to have notes. You just shouldn't really look at them all the time. You just glance over, so it's okay. So at this point, I'm going to start the presentation. And Boomer's filming, and Ryan's off to my right watching me. So, all right, here we go. Welcome, everybody. My name is Anthony Verone. I'm the Culinary Director for University of Hospitals Health System with Sodexo, and welcome. Today, we're going to be doing cutting melons. Everybody's had a melon in the supermarket or in our Simply to Go program, and we have some uneven cuts and some green on the outside. Well, we're going to show you today how to properly cut a melon. What are you going to learn today? We're going to learn a few things, and here they are. How to properly cut the melon, like we talked about. How to properly use a chef's knife. And how to properly use and why we want to wear a cut glove. So those are our learning outcomes for today. This presentation is going to take about 15 minutes, so sit back and enjoy. So here we go. We're also going to learn some terms today. Mise en place. So what is mise en place? As you can see around me, I have mise en place. Everything has its proper place, and every place has its proper thing. I'm ready to go. We're going to learn about proper knife safety. We're going to learn about cutting boards, when to use them, when not to use them, when to throw them away. We're also going to learn about HACCP. So what is HACCP? HACCP is Hazard Analysis Critical Control Points. I know it's a lot of words, but basically it's our food safety. How we're going to keep our customers and our patients safe, which is number one important. So first thing we're going to talk about is HACCP. We washed our melons. That's a step in HACCP. We want to make sure we clean them, scrub them, clean running water. We have a clean cutting board. We want to ensure there's no deep grooves in there. When you do make knife cuts, you're going to eventually cut grooves into the cutting board, and in turn, bacteria can build up in there, and we can get somebody sick. So when there are deep grooves in the cutting board, you pitch it, and you put some new ones out. Clean and sanitized utensils is very important. Here we have our knives that have been cleaned and sanitized. We don't run them through the dishwasher. We don't throw them in the 3-compartment sink. As chefs or as cooks, we do them ourselves. We're also going to talk about temperatures. 40 or below, we need to keep our melons at 40 or below at all times. Okay? So these were in the cooler. We brought them out. They're 40 or below. That's a good point. So let's get into our presentation. So here's our melon. It's round, as we can see. It rolls around. All right, we don't want that. We want to make sure we have flat sides so it doesn't roll around. Here's my chef knife. We're going to cut the ends off. We're going to use the claw method. Okay? Here's the claw method, just like a bear claw. We want to cut the ends off so we get a nice, clean, and straight edge. That's important for two things. A, it's going to stop it, prevent it from rolling around. B, it's going to give us a surface to start trimming. As we see the green line here, That's an important to see that. We want to take the knife and put it right at the edge of the green line. Now we're going to use sawing motions. Again, the claw method, sawing motions. We want to follow it down. The first cut is always the hardest, okay? You can see very little waste there. I didn't go all the way down, but we're going to show you how to fix that. As you can see here, there's a green line that goes all the way down. I want to follow the edge of the knife around that green line. Sawing motion, you see how the edge of the knife is against the green line, the very edge. Here we go again. I'm following that green line. You can see I'm using sawing motions back and forth. And I'm using a rounding method. I'm going around. I'm not cutting to make it angles. I'm using a sawing motion. The whole point of this is to try to eliminate as much waste as possible. As we all know, cutting melons can be very wasteful. And in this melon in particular, it's rather small. As we all know, melons come in different sizes, and I can tell right away this one's not as ripe, but that's part of the business. Whatever melons we get, we kind of got to use. So I'm taking my time, which is important. I think it's important for us as chefs as well to understand that, cutting food, preparing food takes time. All right, now I want to try to trim off some of that green stuff. I'm just going to go back with my knife, take off as much green as I possibly can. You're never going to get all of it all at once, but I particularly do not like, and it's not the right way to do it, to have green on your melon. So you want to take it off, go around and trim that up a little bit. So I'm going to take my bench scraper, which is an important tool. We don't want to take our knife to pick up the scraps and put it in. So we take our bench scraper and we put our food scraps. Again, not food waste. These are food scraps. I don't like to refer to food as waste because we're not wasting that. That's a natural part of the production. So now I'm going to do another claw method. Down I go. And here we go, perfectly cut and cleaned melon. So let's take the melon, take out the seeds. I'm just going to run the knife inside the melon, take out the seeds, some of that membrane. We don't want to scrape too deep. You can see, nice and clean. Again, I'm not working over a garbage can. I'm working into a trim waste, a food trim bowl, which we will then weigh and dispose of. So I'm cleaning that very nicely. Any scraps on my knife, I'm going to just clean up. Seeds, we don't want seeds in our final product. Now, we have a couple different options here. Clean, cut, have melons. I'm going to show you two different options. One is for a platter. So we could take the knife and slice it like this and fan it out on a platter. What I would rather do is cut it in half lengthwise, turn it around, using the knife cutting away from you. Take these little edges off. We'll use those for our diced, for our either fruit salad or our Simply to Go cups. And we'll take that, and you see that did two things. A, it gave us some nice pieces, but also gave us another flat surface. So now we're going to run our knife through, even as thickness as possible. And it has a tendency to stick. It is a wet fruit, but you can see as I'm using my finger to pull over the knife and holding the melon so it doesn't move. Now these ends right here, we can set aside for our fruit cups. I'm going to take my bench scraper, pick up my melon, put it on my platter, give it just a little fan. Now we can do this with melon, cantaloupe, honeydew, pineapple, watermelon. Let's do one more just to use this up. Trying to cut these again as even as possible. Final product is going to make a difference when people see it. We all know people eat with their eyes first. So we're going to put this over here. Now if I put some watermelon, some pineapple, some honeydew, and some berries on there, that's going to be awesome. Okay, let's show a dice. Again, knife safety is important. Even though I have a cut glove on, I still want to be, safe with the knife. So you can see I'm not putting my hands down there. I'm keeping my hand away from the blade. So even if I do slip here, I'm not going to cut myself, which is important. Now we're going to use our dice. And this is great for fruit salad. Simple to go fruit cups, melon cups, so forth and so on. Uniform pieces, that's really important. And here we go with our chunked up diced fruit. Again, we can mix that with different melons and put it into our Simple to Go cups, labeled date. We're good to go with that. So in conclusion, what did you learn today? Well, we learned how to peel and cut a melon safely. We learned HACCP, which is our safety program, how to clean your melon properly using a clean cutting board. We also learned how to handle a knife, which is mostly important, and our safety of our wearing a cut glove, extremely important. We always have to wear a cut glove whenever we're handling a knife. So safety procedures at the utmost. So I appreciate your time today. I appreciate you taking the time and sitting down with me and learning how to cut a melon. So I hope you take this information and put it to practice in your operation. Thanks and have a good day.